Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today in this video we are gonna learn about configuring a sudo as well as exploring the different feature of sudo. Sudo is a program for Unix-like operating system that enables a user to run with the security privilege of another user by default. However, a common false etymology is a substitute user do, because a sudo can run a command as other user as well. Sudo provides an efficient way to give a specific user permission to a specific system commands at the root level of the system. Sudo also logs the commands and argument. So, what does sudo actually do? If you add the prefix sudo with any Linux command, it will run that command with the elevated privileges. Elevated privileges are required to perform the certain administrative tasks in our daily life. So without any further delay, let's begin. Now let's see how we can configure the sudo. So let's fire up the terminal. For configuring the sudoers file, we have 𝗩𝗜𝗗𝗢 utility pre-installed on the Linux distro. So if you are a beginner, then you can go with the 𝗩𝗜𝗗𝗢, and if you are not sure with the syntax of the sudoers file, then you can also use the 𝗩𝗜𝗗𝗢. So for editing the sudoers file, we have to be the root user. So let's switch into the root user. Let's go to the /etc directory. Nano sudoers sudoers, and these are the default configuration for the sudoers file. So here you can specify the specific user to run a specific command as a root. Also you can declare you can specify the specific user to run a command without any password, as well as you can also define a group to run a specific command without any password. So you have to add the user to the group. So here you can see the wheel group as well as the sudo group. So if you want to use the wheel group, you can uncomment the wheel group. So I'm using the sudo group, so let's uncomment this. Now let's save this. We are not gonna do all the configuration on the sudoers file. We are going to use the drop files from the sudoers.d directory. So let's go on to that directory, cd sudoers.d. You can create the file with any names on this directory. So because sudoers gonna read the files from this directory, so I have created the config file. So let's open up. Here, as you can see, I have done some configuration for the sudo. So on the first line, you can see the bypass message is equal to custom message. So you can print out the custom error message for the user if the user type the incorrect password. So you can use this option. So on the second line, you can see the password tries is equal to true. So you can also specify that how many times the user can enter the wrong password. If user enter the wrong password more than the 2, then the sudo will be exit. On the third line, you can see that log file. So you can also define the log file for the sudo. So I have saved the log file on the /log directory for analyzing the log of the sudo. So you can also see the lecture. So I have used the lecture option for giving out the lecture for the user who uses the sudo. It's all let me show what is the lecture. So if I use the sudo command with any command, likewise as a sudo pacman-syy, you can see that it will print out the lecture. So this section belongs to the lecture. You can print out anything here. Likewise, as if you want to print the warning or the information or the anything you want, you can do that. So likewise, something as the sudo comes with a great responsibility, as well as if you don't know about the sudo, then you can check out the manual. So like that, you can print out the anything on the lecture. So you need to specify the lecture file also. So here, as you can see, I have to specify the lecture file to my document folder. It is just a plain text file. So you can specify the anything on the lecture file. Let me show you my example. /zdoc nano lecture. You can see I have created the lecture file like this. You can also create anything on the lecture file, and you can also show like something like that. If you want to show the warning, then you can also give the warning if the user is using the sudo without any permission. So let's save this and let's exit this. And here you can see a password timeout. So you can also specify that a password timeout for the sudo if the user take a a long time for entering the password, then you can exit out the section. So likewise the prompt will be expire. So let's see an example. Sudo. So if I wait for the more than the 10 seconds, the prompt will be expire. So let's see. And as you can see, the prompt had been expired because we have not entered anything for the 10 seconds. And here, as you can see, I have used the passport prompt. So by default, passport prompt is something like that, enter your sudo password, and I don't like that. So you can also change it using the password prompt. You can set the prompt to anything on here. So I have set some symbol. And next we have the PW feedback. So it is the password feedback which shows the asterisk instead of the blank. So by default, the sudo shows the blank, where you can replace this with the password feedback. So you can use it if you want. I'm going to disable it. So okay, let me enable it. Let just give this. And here we have the another option, that is the timestamp type is equal to global. So what does this really do? So this is for those users who don't want to type the sudo password again and again when they open the new terminal. So this will be very helpful if the user opens a lots of terminal and have to type the sudo password many times on opening the new terminal. So then this might be the helpful. And you can also see that the timestamp timeout also. So you can also set out the timeout for that also. When using the new terminal, then you may want to expire the timeout of the sudo password. So you can also do that. And if you want to run a user without any authentication, then you can also do that with the authenticate option. So you can add an exclamation mark before the authenticate option. Then this will not ask the password for that user. So let's uncomment this and let's see how this works. Now let's try by opening the new terminal, and let's try to use the sudo command, sudo -i. As you can see that it does not ask me for the sudo password. So doing like this, this may leads to the potential risk of getting hacked by the attacker. So this may also allow the user to run any command on the system or a host without any password. So I'm not gonna enable this. So let's disable this by adding the hashtag. And if you don't like your system asks the password many times, then you can uncomment this. So let's save this and let's exit this. So this was my minimal configuration for the sudo. So then if you want to secure your sudo, or if you want to enhance your security while using the sudo, then you can do all the configuration that I have done. So this much for today.